The life and times of Professor Humphrey Nwosu, the unsung hero and icon of democracy in Nigeria. Professor Humphrey Nwosu is an unsung hero in the annals of Nigerians' democratic history. While many Nigerians are familiar with the political figures that have dominated headlines in the country's quest for democracy, Nwosu's contribution to the process have remained largely unappreciated. As the chairman of the National Electoral Commission (NEC) during the 1993 presidential election, his role was pivotal in the emergence of a democratic era for Nigeria. His dedication to electoral integrity, despite immense political pressure, established him as a key figure in Nigeria's democratic transition. This report seeks to highlight Nwosu's life, his contributions to Nigeria democracy, and the reason why he is considered an icon. Early life and education. Humphrey Nwosu was born in the southeastern region of Nigeria, specifically in the town of Anambra State. In 1943, he hails from a region known as rich academic and cultural heritage. His early education laid the foundation for his intellectual development, with Nwosu excelling in academic pursuits from a young age. He earned a bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Ibadan, one of the Nigerian's most prestigious institutions. His interest in political and governance led him to pursue postgraduate studies abroad, where he earned a master's degree and later a doctorate in political science. With these qualifications, Nwosu quickly established himself as an academic with keen understanding of political systems, electoral processes, and democratic governance. Professional career and contribution to Nigerians' democracy. Academic and political engagement. Before rising to prominence in the electoral arena, Professor Nwosu had an extensive academic career. He lectured in several Nigerian universities, contributing to the growth of political science scholarship. His academic work focused on the study of electoral systems and governance, which would inform his practical involvement in Nigeria's political processes. His intellectual rigor and deep understanding of the democratic process set him apart as a political thinker. However, Nwosu's journey into the realm of active politics and governance began in the early 90s when he was appointed as the chairman of the National Electoral Commission (NEC). His leadership of the commission occurred at a critical juncture when Nigeria's political history, as the country was in the midst of transitioning from a decade of military rule to civilian governance. The 1993 presidential election, a pivotal moment. The year 1993 marked a watershed moment in Nigeria's democratic journey. Following years of military dictatorship, Nigeria was on the brink of electing a civilian president. The military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida had initiated the process of political transition, which culminated in the June 12, 1993 presidential election, which many considered the freest and the fairest election Nigeria had ever seen. As the chairman of NEC, Nwosu was entrusted with overseeing the electoral process. Despite enormous challenges, including political interference, financial constraints, and logistic difficulties, he ensured that the election proceeded smoothly. The election was a remarkable success, with over 14 million voters participating in what was held as a credible and transparent process. The two main candidates, Moshood Abiola and Bashir Tofa, represented the hope of Nigerian people for a democratic future. The election results, which showed Abiola leading with a significant margin, were widely considered free and fair. However, Despite the overwhelming mandate, the military government annulled the election, citing alleged illegality. The action plunged Nigeria into a political crisis and led to the widespread protests, both domestically and internationally. Nwosu's role in the election was critical because he fought against the military's attempt to manipulate the outcome. While the annulment was a devastating blow to the democratic aspiration of Nigerians, Nwosu's unwavering commitment to ensuring the transparency and fairness of the electoral process earned him respect and admiration from many quarters. His integrity and courage to stand firm in the face of immense pressure made him a symbol of hope for many Nigerians who believed in the promise of democracy. The struggles after the election. After the annulment of June 12 election, Nigeria entered a period of heightened political instability. Nwosu, who had been at the forefront of the electoral process, faced numerous challenges. He was subjected to pressure from both political elites and military officials who sought to undermine the electoral process and subvert the will of the people. Despite the personal and professional risk, Nwosu remained committed to advocating for a return to civilian rule. Though he has been applauded for his handling of the 1993 elections, the military junta under General Sani Abacha intensified its crackdown on democratic advocates. Nwosu found himself sidelined, his efforts largely ignored by both military and political elites. In the years following the annulment of the election, he was largely excluded from the mainstream politics. However, his commitment to the ideals of democracy remained steadfast. Legacy and recognition. Despite the fact that Nwosu's role in the 1993 election did not yield immediate political rewards or recognition, his contributions were later acknowledged by many. The annulment of June 12 election, followed by Nigerians' eventual return to democratic governance in 1999, cemented his place in the history of Nigerian democracy. Today, Professor Humphrey Nwosu is widely regarded as an icon of Nigerian democratic movement. He may not have enjoyed the public accolades that some of his contemporaries did, but his unwavering dedication to electoral integrity and the rule of law has made him a leveled figure. In Nigeria political circles, Nwosu's commitment to fairness, transparency, and democracy helped to lay the groundwork for the democratic systems that eventually took root in Nigeria. In recent years, there has been growing recognition of Nwosu's work, particularly among civil society organizations and political analysts who view him as a role model in future generations. He has also contributed to the intellectual discourse surrounding electoral reform in Nigeria, advocating for measures that would strengthen the country's democratic institutions. In conclusion, Professor Humphrey Nwosu's life and career provide a powerful testament to the sacrifices made by individuals who worked quietly behind the scenes to secure Nigerians' democracy. As the chairman of the National Electoral Commission during the 1993 presidential election, Nwosu's commitment to ideas of electoral integrity and democracy in the face of immense political and personal pressure stands as a monumental achievement in Nigeria history. While his contributions may have not been immediately recognized, his legacy as unsung hero of Nigeria democracy is undeniable. His story serves as an inspiration for future generations of Nigerians who are dedicated to ensuring the integrity of the electoral process and the advancement of democratic governance in the country. Wow! That was the story of unsung hero and icon, Professor Humphrey Nwosu. For those that don't know him or those that were not born in the 90s, Professor Humphrey Nwosu was adjourned, the only person that conducted one election that is classified as free and fair with integrity in the history of Nigeria. I know that some people will be wondering why I suddenly remembered Professor Humphrey Nwosu. I remembered Professor Humphrey Nwosu because democracy is dying in this country. You know, they told us that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was one of those people that fought for democracy in Nigeria. And they told us that Abiola is the icon or the face of democracy. And it even made them to move the Democracy Day from May 29 to, I think, June 12. But they forgot an icon. They forgot an epitome of democracy himself. Unsung hero of democracy himself, Professor Humphrey Nwosu. You saw what they did. They named or they turned the name of the National Stadium in Abuja to Moshood Abiola International Stadium. They forgot the person that really made Abiola to win that election, because it is one thing to come out as a candidate. It is another thing to be an unbiased umpire, which Professor Humphrey Nwosu did. But Nigeria forgot him. They never named anything after him. What a nation. Okay, this is where I am going to stop for today.